Hey guys, so in today's video I'll be showing you all how to manipulate images so that you can combine them and make them look as one. So essentially we'll be doing like a background change, and in this video we'll be using these three images. I'll be providing the links as well for these images, and we'll be combining them so then they together finally the image looks like this. So let's get started. So first what we'll do is we'll create a new document, and the resolution I'll be taking for this document is going to be half of that of the main image, and the main image in this case is this ground. I'll be taking the half of it, and we'll be choosing the landscape orientation. So let's go ahead and import the first photo. So as you could see in the final image, the sky that is there in the image is different and the ground is the same. We'll be removing the sky from this video. To do that, what we'll be doing is we'll be using the quick selection tool, and we'll be selecting the sky and we'll be removing it. So I'll just go over the sky and you can see it's already making a pretty good selection. So I'll go to select and mask after making the selection, and what I'll do is I'll use the tool right here, and I'll be going over the area around the trees which still has the sky selected in it. But before that, as you can see, that what we need is we need to keep the trees and remove the sky. So I'll be inverting the selection so I can remove the sky from the final image, and now I'll be using the tool to go over the area. And you can see that as I'm going over the area, it's keeping the trees but it's removing the sky from the background. So it's a really great tool to make refined selections. I'll select layer mask from the output option and I'll click OK. So as you can see, the sky was removed and what we are left with is the ground. Now what we'll be doing is that we'll be adding the sky. Now we'll be putting the sky behind the ground because it is covering the whole image. Now you can see that the sky is behind the ground, and I'll be shifting it till above so I can get a evening kind of effect right here. And around here it looks good. Now what we'll be doing is that we'll be changing the tone of the ground itself so that it matches the evening atmosphere. So to do that, we'll be using saturation layers and we'll be using the brush tool to color over the ground. So we'll be using two saturation layers. Both will be serving different purpose. So move the saturation layer above the ground and use this button to clip it to the layer below so that the saturation layer affects only the layer below and not the whole image. So you'll see that right now when I'm not using that clipping option and I'm using the saturation, it's affecting the whole image. But if I just clip it, then you will see that it's only affecting the image below and not the sky. So I'll be adding another saturation layer just like this, and I'll be clipping this as well. So the reason for using two saturation layers is we'll be using two different effects to give the evening effect. So you can see that there's a colorize option here. What this option does is instead of just changing the saturation, it's adding a monotone color to the whole image. So we'll be doing that. So you can see that the whole ground has been colorized and there is a single color. And if I'll move the saturation layer or the hue layer, you will see that it's changing the whole color as a whole and not separately based on each color that is present in the image. So just so I don't waste time, I've already written down the values I have used in the original image. So I'll be using these values right here, which is 64, 52 and minus 73 for the colorized layer. So you can see that it has got a darker shade, and now we'll move on to the second saturation layer, which will be giving a more of a effect. And in this layer we'll be going a little harsher on the image so we can reduce the opacity and adjust the effect that we want later on. So the values for this layer are -6, -34 and -69. As you can see, it's become too dark. So what we'll be doing is we'll be reducing the opacity of this layer. Let's see, we can reduce it to about um, this. Yeah, this looks quite good. So now what we'll be doing is we'll be adding orangish tinge to the ground. So to do that, we click on this button, which will basically be creating a new layer. So click on it and you can see that a new layer was created. And now using the brush tool, I'll be selecting the colors from the sky. So to select the colors from the image that you have on your screen, you can press down the Alt button, so that will enable the eyedropper tool. What the eyedropper tool does is it will pick up any colors that you will click on. So if I just click on this area, you can see the foreground color has now changed to that color. And now using the brush tool, I'll just be painting over this area. Now it may be very harsh right now, but we'll be using blending modes to change this later on. And I'll be using another color as well, some lighter color maybe here. And I'll be reducing the opacity and the flows to give it a more subtle effect. And I'll change its blending mode to say overlay. And the look is still very harsh, so I'll be reducing the opacity to about this. And now I'll be pressing the V button on the keyboard to go back to the main tool that I have. So if I just press V, and I'll come back to the main tool. Now what we need to do is that we need to add shadows to the tree, of the trees, right? So what we'll be doing is we'll be selecting the ground image again, and we'll be going to the quick selection tool, and I'll just roughly move over the trees, because even a rough selection in this case should do. So I've selected the trees. Now I'll press Ctrl C to copy the trees and Ctrl V to paste it on a different layer right here. I'll move this layer above all the other layers, that is the hue, saturation and the color layers. And now using the control button and clicking on this layer, I'll be selecting the layer itself. And now using the brush tool, I'll be giving it a black color. So yeah, now that we have it black in color, you can deselect this layer by pressing Ctrl D. And now what we'll be doing is we'll be transforming this layer. So by selecting the layer of the shadow, let's just name it, and pressing Ctrl T, you'll be able to transform it. So to transform it so that it moves downwards, what we'll be doing, instead of just moving it like this, we'll be using the skewing option. So to skew, you can press Control and Shift on your keyboard, hold it down, and then move around any points you want. And if you just want to change one perspective of the image while scaling, you can hold down Shift and then scale, so it won't scale the whole image and only one end of it. So I think this should be alright. And I'll be creating a layer mask for this layer, because I'll be overlapping it over the actual trees a little bit, and then I'll be reducing the black color that's being covered by the shadow on the trees. I will be creating a layer mask now, so I can adjust how much the shadows are actually overlapping the trees. So by pressing this button right here, I'll be creating a layer mask. So layer mask was created, and now using the brush tool and selecting the black color as the foreground and zooming in using Control plus, I'll be going over the area that I want to reduce. So by mistake I reduced the area here, so I'll be pressing Control Z, and I'll reduce the opacity and the flow. The change is very subtle, so you won't notice it, but in the final image you will see that it will give it a better look. and using control minus I'll be zooming out. Now you can see that the shadow is too sharp, so to give it a blurry effect I'll be creating a smart object. So you just right click on the shadow layer and there's an option called convert to smart object. So once I've done that, I can go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and you can see a blur was applied, and you can change the amount of blur that is given to the image. I think this amount of blur is pretty good, so I'll be selecting this, and now I'll be reducing the opacity of the image so it looks more real. So I think this is a really good look. We could still increase the length of the shadows. So again, I'll be pressing Ctrl T to transform and just increasing the shadows length a bit. So yeah, I think this looks good. Now what we'll be doing is, as you can see in the main image, there's a sun that's setting, right? So we'll be adding that effect now. But before doing that, what we'll be doing is we'll be just grouping all of the ground layers into one subfolder of sorts. Just select all the layers by holding down Control and going over all the layers. And you can click on this folder button right here, so it will group it into one layer. And I'll name this layer. Now selecting the sky that we have, go on filter, and you can already see that the sky is already a smart object because of the symbol on the corner. So now after going in filters, we'll go to render and we'll render lens flare. You can see that there are 4 different options of kind of flare they are providing, and for this image I think the first one is the most appropriate flare, and you can move around the flare by holding it down and moving it around in the image. And I'll be reducing a brightness a little bit. I'll be placing it somewhere around here, and yeah, I think this looks good. So as you can see, a flare was added in the back. Now I can change the position of it from here itself. If I want, I can click on lens flare here and I can change the options again. Now what we'll be doing is, you can still see that in the other image it's still giving a glow effect around the sun. So that's what we'll be doing. So again, by going to filter, after selecting the sky layer, going to render, we select lighting effects. And you can see that we can move around this and change the position of the lighting effect. We can scale this to increase how much lighting effect is being provided. So I'll just reduce this. I'll bring it around here. And I think this looks pretty good. You can change the amount of light that's being provided by changing the ambience of the image. There are a few other options that you can play around with, but I don't think it's going to affect the image much. So I won't do any changes. And from colorize, you can change the kind of color that's being applied to the glow. So I'll be going for a subtle effect, so I'll be choosing a color around here in the orange range, and I'll be clicking OK. And once you have the kind of setting you want, you can just click on OK, and the lighting effect that's there is going to be applied to the final image. I'll be showing the second part in another video, so we'll just end this video right here.